I guess the same question, because you did say they were scrapping. I kind of laughed to myself. I go, she called it, and they scrapped out 3 runs.
Yeah.
You kind of gave them.
Absolutely.
Not the first one.
Right.
But then I guess the good deal was you had to be pleased how everything went because you did give them those 3, but that was it.
Yeah, and that was kind of, I mean, Emily was throwing lights out. Like, I feel like I've said this the last couple, she was throwing well. She left the ball over the plate, and she said that. She's like, okay, and with her, when you're throwing plus 70 and your barrel gets to the ball, it's going out. The wind's blowing out here tonight, you know, whatever. But what I talked to her about is she kind of let that, she gets annoyed when they do that, which I love. That's her competitiveness, right? And so then, you know, things happen, but then that led to kind of that inning kind of getting to where it needs to get to. And I you know, she's trying to find that fine line. She's only a sophomore, right? Of just like being too fine and then being too much over the plate. And so she's just got to keep working. And that's what I told her. I said, you know, your last 3 outings, there's been a lot of good stuff. And you just, you got to keep your head in that space. It's hard. Like, the good stuff comes from the hard, you know? And so she was better. We just got to keep, you know, I just told her, like, that's the growth we need to take. Like, that's it. And I thought Lovett came in and she wanted to make it interesting for a little bit, and then she did a good job. So I think, you know, that changeup is key. When she can execute that changeup, you know, she's a very dynamic pitcher. So I think, you know, she did a good job later on in the game of executing that changeup.
And speaking of development, where is Coleman? Not the other Coleman, our local Coleman.
Oh, AC. Yes.
Yeah,
okay. Yes.
Anaya or whatever.
Ayanna, but
Yeah,
yes,
Ayanna, her
Ayanna.
too.
Yeah. She's good. I mean, she's just, you know, I think we are being smart with her and making sure that, like, she's getting at bats where we think she can be very successful. You know, she's just continuing to work. She's a great kid. You know, and I think she is getting what, you know, some freshmen need, and that's just time, right? Time. We're putting her sometimes into pinch hitting spots of like pressure situations, and so she's just able to kind of develop that ability, because we're going to need her. That's the thing. And so tonight she was going to hit regardless, because I felt like she needed some at bats like throughout the game, not just one at bat, to kind of see where she's at. So it was a good check-in. So these midweeks kind of serve the ability for us to be able to, you know, play some people that, you know, haven't gotten a lot of at-bats consistently.
And of course, you heard Warren's answer. It looked like maybe she didn't pick up that first ball well that made the nice diving catch, but that second catch was really, so what about her development as a player?
Yeah, I mean,
as a fielder.
No, she, I mean, Brie has made some big catches for us out in the outfield this year, and I think what I love about her response is that she said, I was confident that I was going to catch that ball, because you're right. Like, the rule is don't dive on a ball down the line. But at some point, and I think we talked about this you know, in practice, we we let them do it, because it's going to come a point in time in the game when they're going to have to do it, and it's going to be do or die. And so, and I think we talked about that at some point, you know, in one of our press conferences, is just, that's why practice, you know the rule, but at some point you have to also kind of risk it. And she did. And I thought it was a good risk, because I thought that ball wasn't tailing a whole lot. I thought she had a good read on it. Brie, I mean, she gets good reads on the ball, and her arm's coming along. So, you know, she'll get more spots, you know, out there. I do think, like, in response, I think you asked her about her offense. Like, she's picking the right pitches to swing at. Like, she's doing a lot of good things, and it's going to come, you know. And that's the other thing that I think she's doing a good job of. She's separating her defense and from her offense. And I think that's a very mature approach, because that's hard.
So with a younger pitcher like Emily Kennedy, when she gets into that little rough spot in the third inning, like, you're leaving her in there, what's the mindset with her trying to get through that rough spot? Like, what's your mindset with that?
Well, I think, as crazy as it sounds, the more she's in it, the more she's going to have opportunities to work through it. I think for her, it's like, and that's what we talked about, like slowing her breath down, keeping to her routine, you know, just continuing. I had already used my timeout when after she hit the batter, or else I probably would have gone out there. Julia went out there to kind of, but part of it is just her growth. Like, she's got to mature. Like, she's, you know, and she will. Like, she wants it so bad. And so it's just her, you know, continuing to be in those situations, which we're going to be in, and, you know, executing them. Like, when we were in Florida this year against Arizona, she was in one of those situations, and she did a great job of closing the game. So it's just, you know, they're all young. I mean, think about it. Lovett's a sophomore. She's a sophomore. Like, These are all great things. So by their junior and senior year, we should really be in a good spot.
No Cannon tonight because of.
Yeah, she tweaked her lower back a little bit. Yeah, so it was more of a precautionary. She could have gone, but it's like, why when we have a big weekend? So she'll be fine for this weekend, but gave some other opportunities. So yeah.
So like you said, you have a bunch of younger girls on this team. So what does the development in those players look like? Like, how are you developing them into what you want to see later on in their career?
It has a lot to do with just conversations, and it's not about mechanics and those types of things. But if you look at, like, watch Amari in the box, she's got good breath, she's got a good routine, right? Like, there's a lot of things that when you look at really good hitters in the batter's box, right? They don't let the moment get the best of them. They're very calm. They're very professional. They are just very businesslike, you know? So that's really our message to them is like, listen, like, get into your routine, get your breath right, control your heart rate. You know, some of those things are really key. Same thing defensively. Like, it's just that pre-pitch talk. Rylan Wiggins is just, she's huge for us in the infield because she knows where everybody's supposed to be. She's talking, like, she does a really good job of making sure to kind of bring along Coco, and Coco's finding her voice, Amari's finding her voice, you know, and Trin wasn't in the lineup tonight, but I think all of that kind of combined. Same thing with outfield. Keely's playing center, she's been a little right, she's played some left field, and so it's just getting those reps and then talking through it. And again, it's not about mechanics, it's more of like, okay, you got a left-handed hitter up, you're playing left field, where's the ball gonna cut? Okay, you're playing right field, left-handed hitter, where's the ball gonna cut? And it's just working on that and making it a little bit more second nature.
And last question for me, at least, what's y'all's outlook going into Kentucky this weekend?
I'm excited to get back on the right track. So this obviously was a good win for us. Kentucky's going to be tough, but I love tough. Like, you know, I want to see what we're made out of, you know, and I think, you know, their pitcher is good. She's really good. She's, you know, high velo up in the zone. And so we could either have a really good day and chase pitches that we're supposed to chase, or it's going to be a long day. But I mean, it's a 3-game series, so, you know, that's the other thing. Like, I would like us to put 3 complete games together. I don't feel like we have put 3 complete games together.